I guess I'm just doing my hair right now real quick because I'm about to go out with my friends shopping. I go shopping way too much, but you know what, that's okay. It's okay. Well, I didn't finish my makeup, I just forgot. I literally forgot to do my under eyes. So I sometimes do forget to do that, which is actually really bad. So let me just finish getting ready. And let's just chat. Let's just have a little talk, okay? So, you can watch this video just to watch this video. Or you could, like, get ready with me, you know? Doesn't matter. Whichever. So, yeah. I just thought we would talk. Just vent. Get some shit off our chest, you know? I mean, I don't really have anything to vent about, honestly. My life is going really... couldn't be better. Other than the COVID shit, you know? Other than that. Like, it's not really affecting my life personally yet. Like, I know that, like, COVID has, like, affects some people's lives, like, really personally. And, like, they are struggling right now. Or they know someone that has it. So, you know, keep them in my prayers. For sure. Like, you know. It's tough. But, like, I can't relate to that. Because I don't got nothing going on like that with me. So, I'm not gonna fake... I'm not gonna be fake and be like, oh, I feel you. Like, I understand. Like, I don't understand. And I hope that I never understand. Like, I hope that I don't have to go through that. But it's really sad for the people that do have to. Okay. Now that I got that done. That's really important to do, by the way, with your eyes. Because if you got, like, really dramatic, like, I got a really dramatic look going on. So if you don't do that little under eye thing, then it looks, like, crazy, kind of. You know? But, I mean, don't matter if I go out like that. It's still gonna look good. Don't matter. I could go out with freaking no mascara on and just eyeshadow. No, I'm just kidding. That's doing way too much. If you do that, you're probably in elementary and you don't know what the fuck is going on yet in life. Anyway, so I got this hair oil, Vetica. I'm sorry if I don't pronounce that right. It's like not my language, but that's how I pronounce it. Anyway, so let's just talk. You know, I was watching this video about this girl and she like got cheated on and stuff, and I mean, I think she got cheated on. Anyway, she's just like, how to not give a fuck. And I was like, you know, this seems interesting. So, like, I put it in my watch later, and then when I'm bored, I, like, go to my watch laters, even though I'm like, they're more, like, just, exhausting to watch. Because it's, like, I have to watch these because I have so many in my watch laters. You don't mind my hair because it's, like, looking crazy. Like, that's what I'm doing, okay? Anyway, so I'm watching her, and she's like, how to not give a fuck, and she's like, just giving advice, and honestly, I think her advice is like, meh. Like, you know, I get what she's trying to do, but she just ain't doing it right, and, you know, so, I get the whole point. And, first of all, she's like, title of the video, I don't give a fuck, and, you know, she starts off the video, like, saying, like, I'm gonna have to bleep out every time I say I don't give a fuck. I'm like, first of all, bitch, if you really didn't give a fuck. And she's like, also, my mom, like, watches this channel, or my family watches this channel or whatever, so, you know, I'm gonna have to do a little something, like, and this is kind of controversial, so, you know, so I'm like, girl, first of all, are you even the right one to make this video if I don't give a fuck? Because if you really don't give a fuck, you're gonna be saying I don't give a fuck and not give a fuck. You know what I mean? Because, like, my mom used to watch my channel, but guess what? I really didn't give a fuck, and I actually just uploaded, and I just took the hate. Like, I'm, like, really one of the people that really don't be giving a fuck out here, really. Like, you know? Like, I'm not, like, the most, because I feel like the people that really don't give a fuck are the ones that have face tats, because they pass me on a different whole level. Like, I can never, I mean, maybe I was, like, a rapper or some shit. Like, I don't know, this is too beautiful. Like, if I really wanted to, I would have done it. Like, it's not like I care, but like, it does, like, you know, I'm not even gonna say it limits you. I'm not gonna say tattoos limit you, but realistically, like, it's gonna limit you from certain jobs. But like, there's hundreds of ways to make money. You don't need, like, to be an accountant or whatever, like a professional desk job. But I'm just saying, like, you better make sure that's what you not want to do. And when you're young, you can't make that decision on, you don't have no idea what you want to be yet, right? So that's why they say, oh, like, when you're young, like, don't get, like, tattoos that you don't know yet, because, you know, young people just don't think of that. So that's why. But I mean, honestly, like, you know, getting a face tat isn't necessarily bad. Like, people might judge you, but you, like, who cares about them, honestly? Like, who are they to you? Are they paying your bills? I mean, yeah, if your partner that you're with is like, I don't want you to get a face tat, like, what? Then, like, maybe you should listen, just because that's your partner. Like, how would you feel if you got, like, a freaking, I don't know, some weird ass tattoo just right on his chest or some shit, just because he wanted to? I'd be like, babe, like, like, I'm gonna, you know. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you are like a rapper or some shit, like, what are you gonna say? Like, they don't need, like, you know, it depends what they do. It's gotta go into your lifestyle, right? It's gotta go into what you do as a job. So, you know, that's just it. But otherwise, no one can tell you shit. It's not affecting your money or your bills or your love life, then, like, who cares? Or your relationships. Like, what's important is that if the people really love you, they'll come around. So let me just tell you, if the people really love you and you just don't give a fuck, like, you gotta give a fuck to an extent. Like, I'm talking about, like, I don't give a fuck about people's opinions on me, and I can really, like, I stand by that. Like, I do not give a fuck who you are. Like, if you don't fuck with me, you don't fuck with me, and I can't do anything about that. I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, I'm gonna change so you fuck with me. No, at the end of the day, if you don't fuck with me, point blank period, I guess that's it. That's that. Like, you don't have to fuck with me, and I don't have to care. So that's just end the conversation. So, like, I just, you know, I do what I do. I live how I live. I don't, like, I'm not, like, gonna, like, be, you know, there's a difference between, like, hiding, like, stuff that you do and, like, knowing when it's appropriate to talk about what, like, you know what I mean? So I don't hide what I do. I don't lie about, like, anything like that, but I'm not, like, the type of person to bring it up first. Like, I don't gotta tell no one. Like, you know, like, vegans, like, yeah, you're vegan, you do what you do, but you don't have to, like, shove it in everyone's face, oh, I'm fucking vegan. Like, no, like, if they ask, or, like, it comes up, or they're like, hey, you want some meat? Like, then it's an appropriate time to be like, yeah, no, I don't eat meat. Like, I'm vegan. Like, you know, it's whatever. Like, you just sounds, like, so bitchy. Just like, oh, I just don't eat meat or anything like that. Like, you can say it nicely. It's just that, you know, you just gotta know the appropriate time to take it. You just, like, 5 facts about you. I'm vegan. Like, they think it's, like, a personality trait or some shit to be vegan. But that's none of my business. I don't really care. I mean, I used to be a vegetarian when I was little, but I never ever told anyone I was a vegetarian. Only, like, I wasn't a vegetarian to tell people. I just wanted to be, like, skinnier when I was young. I don't know why. I was literally, like, I didn't even have boobs. Like, I was literally just like, oh, I want to be, like, trying to get this 6-pack, which I did not. Girl, you gotta eat meat if you want to build gains, but, you know, whatever. My little stupid ass was eating spinach at school. But this was, like, high school, like, grade 9. So, you know, it's kind of funny. God, my hair is just so fluffy. Anyway, what was I saying? I get so off track. Anyway, yeah, so, like, to not give a fuck, you really gotta accept that some people don't like that energy, and some people can't handle the realness, okay? Some people just can't. They can't do it. They have to put on a facade. They have a reputation, okay? People who say reputation, first of all, oh, I got a reputation to protect. Like, what do you mean? Your personality? Like, if a reputation is just something you keep up, like, that's not real. Like, a reputation is just what other people think about you, I guess, and you see what they think of you, so you have to keep it up. That's what a reputation is. Otherwise, it's just your personality. They can think whatever they want to think. Like, my reputation's not going to be tarnished because this is who I am. At the end of the day, this is me. This is it. Like, think whatever you want. And I feel like a lot of people, like, feel that if a certain people think a certain way about them, they gotta be that certain way to keep it up. They're scared of, like, breaking who they are. Oh my gosh, there's a little thing. I didn't even notice that you could see that. Sorry, the mirror's like in the way the whole time and I didn't know. Sorry. Yeah, no, like you don't have to keep up any expectations that people put on you. What is that? Like that's not, you're not obligated to keep up with that. So like why do it, especially if it's not like someone you don't want to be, or like that's not really you. And I feel like the people that are worst at doing this is like your family, like your relatives, because they knew you when you were really young, right? So you didn't have a personality yet. You didn't know who you were. You're still trying to figure yourself out. Because at the end of the day, like, what, you don't know. Like, you're still learning things. You're still learning manners. Are you going to be, like, a good person, or, like, a bad person, whatever. Like, you know, it's just choices. So people will label you as a bad person if you make bad decisions. But, like, that doesn't mean you're yourself is a bad person. There's lots of people in gangs that are just born into the lifestyle that are good people and that are capable to being good people. But they just were never taught it. And you know, people just look at, oh, like, that's a bad person, like, don't associate with them. So how is that going to help them? At the end of the day, you don't want to help them then. You just want to live your little life and, like, you know, it sucks for them, but that's it. Like, I just see it differently. Like, people that other people consider bad or, like, scary or, like, weird, like, you know, all the rappers that have, like, face tats, I feel like my generation is really, like, we want to know, I don't know, maybe I can't speak for everyone, but, like, I'm not even going to say generation because that puts everyone into a little category, but me personally, I'm not like, oh my god, like, you know, at first I'm like, that's weird, but then I'm not like, oh, I would never associate with them. I still want to figure out, like, who they are as a person. If I don't like who they are as a person, then I would distance myself. Like, I'm not like, oh, you have this, I'm not going to talk to you and see what you're about. Like, I'm intrigued, like, tell me what made you decide. I want to know about the first one. Like, what made you decide to get that? And, like, you know, where were you in life? Like, I just want to know. And honestly, it's ballsy. Like, just, like, to get a face tat, like, that's, like, the most, I'm just talking about this as one of the things because it's the most, like, judged thing, I think. Like, and, like, you can understand why. Like, I can understand why, but it's just not who I am. Like, you know. But I mean, there is, like, it's just a flex when you've made it as a rapper and you get face tats. It's like, you're really saying, I don't give a fuck. And, like, bitch, I got money. So I can do it. Like, you can't even speak on this because you can't even get a face tat. What are you gonna do for work? Like, bitch, I literally drop one song and make your whole life's worth of living. Like, you know? It's just a flex. Like, it is. Or I drop one song and make more than what you would ever make in your whole life, and that's actually a fact. Like, people are making, like, millions with face tats, and, like, some people never see that in their bank account at once. Like, you know, you can't even, like, how can you even hate or speak on that? Like, yeah, you can say, oh, they're ridiculous, but, like, at the end of the day, like, you know, but money isn't everything. Money isn't happiness. A lot of these rappers are sad and stuff, and it is, like, sad to see. But when you're sad like that, you don't even give a fuck about your face, like, you know. So it's just their life, right? You can't tell other people how to live your life. I mean, you can judge them, I guess, but at the end of the day, you gotta know they're not gonna change for you, and they're not gonna give a fuck. And that's what this, back to the topic of not giving a fuck, you know. So yeah, and I just feel like yeah, family doesn't realize, like, they just knew you since you were little. So when you grow up and you develop your own personality and your own shit, and you become, like, who you are, then they already envisioned you as someone else. They envisioned you as how they wanted to see you right when you were first born, like, as a little baby. Like, you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that. And it's just, like, when you put expectations on a little baby or someone, or a little child, or a child at all, you know, you're gonna set yourself up for hurt, or you're gonna set them up for a miserable life. Like, it's either one or the other. You can't have both. So you're either gonna tell your child you have to be this, or I'm gonna disown you, and that child is either gonna not like, you know, you can't expect your child to live life for their parents. Like, that makes no sense. Everyone has their own life. okay, their own life. And if everyone does what their parents want and everyone's doing what their parents want, then it's just gonna be like everyone's gonna be unhappy because no one's doing what they want. Like, does that make any sense to anyone? It just blows my mind that doesn't make any sense. This is my second phone, by the way. I ain't got no iPhone 7, but if I did, I would not. It's still a phone, so I'm just saying that. Anyway, like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would we choose not to be happy? So, you know, there's some little people that, like, then sometimes you just gotta not give a fuck. And that's where it comes in. Because if your parents are saying, like, you know, you gotta do this, or pressuring you to do something you really don't want to do, and you can tell that you're gonna be unhappy, but you just want to make them happy, sometimes you just gotta not give a fuck about what makes them happy. And I know that sounds like, oh my god, like, how could you even speak about your parents that way? I love my mom, don't get me wrong, but if I dropped everything and gave up my whole life to just please someone else, I don't care who it is, like, could be my friend or my mom or my grandma or whoever, like, someone in my life that's not me, and I dropped everything, even my partner, to make me feel, or to make them happy and not myself, I will never truly be happy, you know? And I heard so many, like, even just talking to people, like, there's so many people in a career or in something that they don't want to do because they're trying to make someone else happy, and at the end of the day, you know, you won't be, and that's the issue right there. So if you really want to be happy, you just can't give a fuck about what other people think at the moment. Do what makes you happy, and you'll find success. Like, you'll 100% find success through what makes you happy, because you're happy, and that's, like, the whole point of life, right? Because at the end of the day, we don't know what happens when we die, you know? And that's, like, a really scary thought to some people. And some people don't like thinking about it, or some people really, like, don't care, but I feel like we all do care a little bit. Like, how can you not? Because, you know, you must really not enjoy life right now if you don't care, because I think the people that really love life care more about dying, you know? And I guess you have to not think, like, there's, like, to commit suicide, I don't even know if I can say that on YouTube, but to do that, like, you have to have two things. You have to really not care about life. Like, you really got to not like your life at the moment. And I say that at the moment because life changes, you know? Just because you don't like your life at this part, at this chapter, doesn't mean it won't get better way down the road. And trust me, like, so many people that have thought about, like, committing suicide and, you know, haven't, and then they live their life, and then good things happen in the future. They're so grateful that they didn't end their life, you know? And I know a lot of people that are like that, and it just, like, really makes you, like, that was crazy that, you know, you were at such a low point of your life that you were really gonna do it, and then, you know, you just think, wow, if I would have done it, then I wouldn't have had this, right? So I just applaud those people that are out there that you know, got through it or whatever, because it's not easy to just say, you know what, it's gonna get better, because you don't know when. So it is gonna be, like, you don't know how long you're waiting, and that's what makes it, like, even worse. So anyway, so what was I saying? Oh, I forget what I was saying now, but I'll remember. Oh yeah, you just have to, you can't live your life for your parents, is what I'm trying to get at, because you won't end up happy, and you not being happy and them being happy just leads to a line down a family generation just not being happy, when you just gotta do your own. And yeah, so, like, just putting expectations on a child when you don't know who they are yet, and you think you know who you are, and then all of a sudden at 13, 14, 15, like, their teenage years, called the terrible teens for a reason, they start changing and actually developing a personality and start to transition into adulthood. So it's a really tough time. But you know, as a parent, I'm not gonna speak like, oh, I'm a parent or anything I know. This is just some like from a child that has or a daughter who, you know, is seeing it from a child's perspective. And like now I'm like getting into adulthood. Like I know it's scary. Like I don't know personally because I don't have a child, but I could understand that it'd be so scary because you don't know the way that your child is thinking, right? And little 15-year-olds, 16, 17, you know, 17, 18, like it honestly depends on like who the child is and experience, but they don't make the best decisions, you know? So yeah, you gotta guide them, but you can't like guide them, you can only guide them so far. You gotta be like, okay, you can't like do this because, you know, tell them the consequences of like stuff. And like, you know, if they do something that they shouldn't, they need to learn like consequences for sure. But you can't tell them, okay, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Like you can't. School system too, like it's just hard because all these adults are like pressuring you to pick something. Like even school, it just feels like everything has a time limit. Like, you know, the school is like, okay, 4 years and then you gotta pick something and then you gotta start working on that degree. And it's just so unrealistic because you really are still so young and you don't know what you want to do for the rest of your life. And the school system is really messed up for that because lots of people just jump in. Like they're really about money, honestly. If you really think about it, like they're a lot about money. Like why is school so expensive? And they just want all these people to be in debt. So like this is how the system wants it to be. You do high school, you get a loan for college, or if you're rich, you know, like mommy or daddy is gonna pay, whatever, they're getting your money, either or. They want you to be in debt, then they want you to get a job. Like so much debt, takes so long and so much debt. Get a job, work the rest of your life to pay off the student debt, buy a house, and then work the rest of your life to pay off the house debt. So you're always in debt. The system that they take in place, you're always gonna be in debt. Like that's just how it is. And that's a lot of stress for someone that just wants to like, you know, like we didn't ask to like be born, we're just like born, right? So, you know, we're born into this life, and then the people that were here before is like saying like this is how it is, and we're like, whoa, like we didn't even understand this when we were kids, we were just like living, right? And some of us are either gonna follow into what they want, which is fine, like totally fine. Like it's totally fine if you're like, okay, I'm okay with that. Like they're setting me up for a easy route where like, yeah, I'm in debt and I didn't have the money fully to pay for it, but I'm gonna eventually. And even if you don't pay 100% for it, I don't know what happens when you die, right? Like I don't know what happens with the house and everything. I think, like, I don't know, someone told me like it falls on your kids, and I'm like, oh, that seems so like not right. Like what? Why would it fall on your kids? I don't know. I think they just take your house. Yeah, I think they would just take your house, and then if your kid wanted the house, that they would have to pay it off, I think. I don't know, because I didn't learn that. Like, I honestly didn't pay attention in school. I'm learning all this stuff, like, mostly after school, because, like, some teachers, like, some of it was my fault, but I was really failed as a kid. Like, they didn't teach me. Like, I had, like, learning disabilities. Like, I'm not gonna get into it. So I didn't get the extra help that I needed, like, because I didn't know I had, like, different, like, I didn't know I couldn't learn like other kids, so I was always like really confused, and I was put into school for a different language, so I didn't understand the language I was being taught to, like French. Like I really didn't understand. Like I already had learning disability, so learning math and science and everything in a different language just like really held me back. So everything that I want to learn now is kind of like on my own. Like you can YouTube anything and like learn it. So it's not like about it's not like about like not learning in school. Like if I wanted to know something, I could like just Google it. Like it's not the information's not public, right? Anyway, there's just things that like I don't really need to know, like for certain jobs you need to know stuff, but like for life you really just need to know like basic math And you don't even need to know it in your head because there's calculators. Like, I don't know why schools didn't let people use calculators. Like, this is the age of the future, right? Now there's calculators, so they should just teach you how to do that. But, like, no, I'm not good at math in my head at all. You know, even when with just something simple, I'll use my fingers, and I'm not scared to admit it. Like, yeah, bitch, I count on my fingers. But, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, basically what they don't teach you in school, like, is so dumb, because you most of the stuff that you actually need to know, they don't, like, teach you. So I wish that they would teach you about, like, mortgages, houses, like mortgages and houses, like how to buy a house, how to sell a house if you want to sell a house. I wish they would teach you about taxes, like, you know, how are you supposed to know how to like, to pay your taxes? Like, how are you supposed to know? You know what I mean? You have to kind of have someone, like, what if you don't have someone in your household that's, like, working, like, you know, there's, like, people that don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you gotta have someone that's kind of, like, working and, like, kind of know how to pay taxes. What if you're, or, like, you know, I guess they just kind of expect someone else to tell you. That's kind of what they expect, which is so dumb. Like, I don't know why they teach us how to find Y and X. Like, my mom, literally the only reason why we need to know this is so that we can teach our children that. That's it. Because my mom didn't even know that shit, and she had to, like, relearn it and, like, YouTube it just to help me. And she's a nurse. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So, like, yeah, I understand that's important for if you go into that job. But if you don't go into that job, then what is the point? I don't understand. Like, it's just confusing to me. Like, I just, you know, and humans aren't perfect, but we gotta realize humans aren't perfect, and, like, if we realize that there's a mistake in our learning system and that this is not helping people in life, like, I feel like we could have make it really, like, we could fix it, right? And we are just choosing to be like, yeah, our system doesn't include anything in today's world, but, like, you know, carry on. Like, what are we doing? We need to be, like, a generation that, like, changes it. Like, it's really confusing to me, and I'm not going to be that person, like, oh, like, they have to learn all this because I had to learn all this. Like, no, I don't want them to go through that, because I want our generation, or the next generation, to be better and, like, know all the stuff that I didn't, because, like, life is really hard for our generation to, like, figure all this shit out and, like, learn it from friends or, like, our parents, because we weren't taught it in school, right? So, like, I don't understand. I'd rather just, like, teach the younger generation how to do this stuff so they're not confused like us, like, you know, because we're just gonna have to teach them anyway, because we'll be like, okay, so this is everything. I know that you went to school for this many years, but, like, this is actually, okay, now forget all that. You just had to pass and get the grade thingy, and, you know, just so you can say you, like, graduated high school, and now I'm gonna teach you actually about life. Like, what? That makes no sense. Anyway, yeah, no, I'm just kind of ranting right now, like, while doing my hair. I just was never the good type at school, and, like, now you just, they make it seem, oh yeah, what I was saying is like, you know, you can take the route of the system, or you can, like, figure it out, like, kind of your own way, and people are like, oh, but it's harder, it's not safe, it's like like, you know, you're gonna be on the right path or wrong path. Like, no, like, lots of people that took a chance and, like, didn't do all that, because you want to know what happens is, lots of people just pick something because they're scared. They have to pick something for their life, go to school for it, pay all this money, and then don't even use their degree. So many people have not used their degree. It's crazy. And just thinking about all the money that they could have saved, like, literally, if they would have just stayed at home and, like, worked for a few years first to, like, see what they want to do, then they have more of an idea of, like, who they are as a person, what they want to do in their future, instead of just hopping into something so quick and then wasting all this money that could have went to a something else degree. It's just, like, you know, crazy. And it's scary because, like, you know, I feel like when you're that young, you feel like, so, like, everyone else is just talking about what they want to do, and you feel like, oh, like, everyone knows what they want to do, but I don't know what I want to do, and I have to pick something because I'm going to be behind. Like, you're not behind. You're just figuring yourself out. If anything, they might even be more behind, because not only did you take a break off, but they hopped into school really quick, had to pay all this money, and now they're done and they don't want that degree anymore. Now they're right back at where you are, except they're in debt, like 10K a semester or 5K a semester, which is 10K a year. Like, just think of it that way. Like, you're not, life could be over tomorrow. Like, you don't know. Like, it could be your last day in a week. Like, you know, lots of people die every day. Like, you don't know, and it's scary to think about, but it's reality. So, like, you know, you gotta also think of that. Like, you gotta live a little. Like, you can't be like, okay, I'm just gonna buckle down my first 20 years so that I can have a good 40 to 50 retirement or whatever. You know, like, it just, you know, either you're gonna live in your younger years when you can, and you can, like, move, and, like, you're healthy, you're healthy, you have your health, and you're good, you look great, and you're gonna go on trips or whatever, you know, or you're gonna buckle down, but then you might suffer in the future, like, if you don't, like, get your shit together, or, like, somehow find a way, right? Or you can buckle down and miss all your fun years and have a great retirement when you're, like, sick and can't move, like, you know, and just, like, it just seems like it fucks you every which way. But personally, what I want to do is I want to live my full life contently, like, live my life to the fullest. Like, I'm not picking half and half. I'm not doing it. And some people are okay with doing it because it's safe. I'm, like, a risk taker. Like, I just know, like, God's got me, honestly. Like, I know that sounds so cheesy, like, God's got me, but, like, no, honestly, I got myself. I got people around me that support me, and if they don't support me, I'm sorry. I tell everyone straight up, like, if you don't support me, like, it won't work. It just won't work. I even told that to my own mother, like, my own mom, like, if you can't support me, like, we can't have anything to do with each other. Like, I'd support you no matter what, you know, as long as you're not hurting yourself. But, you know, you can obviously see, like, she doesn't know what's hurting me, like, on my past. Like, if someone's taking a certain path, you can't know what's hurting them, right? But obviously, if you see someone injecting themselves with heroin and they're not okay, like, that's so different. Like, you can't compare those things. You can't. So I'm not saying, like, oh, like, if they're shooting up and whatever, they're on a different path and they're picking it. Like, no, like, you need to be there for them, but that's gonna be really tough, and it's gonna be really hard. You can't just expect someone to understand how you're seeing them. Like, they're seeing life totally different, so you gotta, like, be aware of that, and you might need, like, professional help with that. But like, those situations are really tough, and I can't really speak on them, but you gotta know that they're in a totally different mindset, so that's hard. Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, it's not, like, up to someone to be like, oh, you're going down the wrong path, when you really don't know what they're doing. Like, they maybe have a different vision, like, than you. That doesn't mean that it's a wrong path. So you can never, like, tell someone, like, when they're doing something different, that it's a wrong path. They're just not doing what you would do, right? So, yeah, at the end of the day, you just really can't give a fuck about other people's opinions on your life, because it's your life, and they don't know what's going to make you happy. Things that make them happy don't make you happy, right? So why would you follow someone's life that you look at and you're like, I would not want to be doing that. Like, I wouldn't want that for me. You know, that's great for them. Like, you're not judging them or anything. You just wouldn't want that for you. Like, you know, I think doctors are great. I think nurses are great. Would I want that for me? No. Like, I just feel like I'd be so stressed out. I couldn't see someone die. Like, I couldn't. Like, every day, just do that. You know, the people that talk on the phone every day, like the police, like, who answer the reception and everything, they listen to emergencies 24/7, like, 24/7, help, like, this person died, like, you know, something about help, I'm being kidnapped, like, they're on the phone with them. Like, that's really stressful. I think that's so amazing that they can do that. Could I do that? Like, I don't think I could sleep at night. Just, you know, I would just, like, rethink about all the calls every day, like, this happened, like, you know, it just, like, almost would take a part of me. So I respect the people that do those jobs. Could I do it? No. And I'm not, like, saying, oh, I would never do it. Like, no, it's, like, it's a great job. Like, you know, it's great to the people that can do it, but I just couldn't. I need to do something else. I'm just different. Like, you know, I'm different. So, yeah. I guess that was it. Like, my hair is pretty much, like, done. It's gonna dry better, I hope. But, yeah, no, I just wanted to, like, just talk and, about it, because some people just really, I feel like, you know, when you have parents that are pressuring you like that, it can be tough, especially when you do give a fuck, because, you know, that's just who you are as a person, right? It's really tough to not, but at the end of the day, the whole point of this is that when you do what makes you happy and you're just a happy person, they're gonna see, the people that love you are gonna see that and be like, you know what, they didn't fuck up. Like, they're happy, they're doing, like, whatever they're doing, like, they're, like, doing it, you know? That's not what I would have chose. Like, the only thing you can do is prove them wrong, right? Like, you can only prove the people that said that you were going down a wrong path, or, you know, not choosing what they want. Like, if you don't choose what they want, you gotta prove them wrong. That's the only way, and it's gonna take time, but they're gonna eventually see it, and they're gonna be like, wow, like, you know, they knew what they didn't know what they were doing, but they did know what they were, like, they didn't know what they were doing, but they knew what not to do. Like, I don't know exactly what I'm doing. Like, no one really knows what they're doing, but I know exactly what not to do, if that makes any sense. Like, I know what I know what I don't like, right? And I know what I like. And I'm pretty, like, I do have, like, I kind of know, I know what I'm doing to an extent, but I'm not that type of person to just talk about what I'm doing ever. Like, the only person that knows what I'm doing is, like, usually me, not even my mom. And, like, I guess my partner knows, because we plan our future together, right? Like, when you're serious, that's what you do. But if it's just, like, a boyfriend or a little, like, person that I wasn't living with, like, he wouldn't even know my plans, you know? My plans have to, like, consist with his, or else we can't have a future. That's just common sense. Anyway, so that was all for this video. Yeah, I just thought we would, like, talk a little bit about life things, you know. We're all growing up, we're all having experiences and shit, and going through life. So yeah, I might, like, do these just while I'm getting ready. They're just kind of fun. And, you know, if anyone ever needs anyone to talk to, like, you know, I'm not, like, I'm kind of hard to get a hold of, but, like, I like, you know, if anyone needs anyone to talk to, honestly, like, I'd be down to talk if I can. It's just that, like, I am, like, I don't check my messages, like, that often, or anything, like, in my DMs, Instagram, because, like, a lot of weirdos just be hitting me up for, like, trying to, like, go on dates and shit. It's just weird shit. Like, I have to make a story time about it. It's just funny, actually. But no, like, you know, I do feel for the people that are going through like, hard times in life. Like, you know, that's just sucks. It must be awful. And sometimes people just need someone to, like, talk to, and, like, I'm super good at giving advice. So, you know, even if you know, just need to talk to people, like, just reach out to your friends, because that also, like, shows who's the real friend and who's not. Like, even if they think it's bullshit what you're talking about, like, just the smallest thing, like, oh, I lost my favorite lip gloss, girl. Like, you know, we're just, like, really, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, let's go to the mall and get a new one. Like, just have supportive friends, like, by you. You know, I know, like, yeah, I don't know if any guys watch my videos, but, like, even guys, like, I know it's a little different for guys, because you gotta be, like, no feelings, like, I'm a man. No, like, men cry too. Like, men are actually way more sensitive than women. They just, like, can't show it, because, like, you can't call up your guy and be like, this happened. Like, you know, they're gonna be like, okay, get over it, pussy. Like, that's just how it is. So, I mean, guys should have little girls. The girlfriends will talk to you and, like, hype you up, you know. We'll do it for you. So, that's why I love having guy friends, because they're, like, you know, they sensitive. Anyway, okay, this was all for this video. This video is, like, long as fuck, so my bad. And bye.